big into drills, but there's a few that I find myself coming back to again and again. The first one isn't really a drill, but more of a habit that I like to get people into the habit of. So a lot of people, whenever they start rowing, they start from the finish, but I really think it's a much better idea to start from the catch. For one thing, I find there's a lot of people that are simply afraid of sitting at the catch with the blade squared. If you're ever going to race, you're going to have to sit here, and you might as well be comfortable doing it. But I like it for a lot of reasons. As a novice, I really like it because it gets people to think about the grip. So you sit at the catch, blades squared and buried, blades just underneath the surface of the water. Think about where the hand height is, where the hand levels are. Think about where the hands are on the oar. What am I looking for? I'm really looking for these knuckles to be pointing straight up, these knuckles to be pointing straight out, and then the thumb just loosely on the oar, the wrist nice and flat. And so every time you start from here, you can make sure the blades are square, make sure you've got the right grip. The other thing I like to check again is a hand height. So you see where the blades are just floating. I'm not really putting upward pressure or downward pressure on them, just trying to let them float. And if I think about where my hand heights are, I can think about where they are relative to the knee and therefore where they're going to be in the middle of the drive. And then obviously from there, straight line, right back to the finish. Ideally finishing somewhere right around the low rib. So I really like that for the novice. As you get more experience, I like it because I really want you to be able to feel the elbows. I want you to relax the elbows. We're not trying to sit up here with the elbows locked and the tension up in the neck, but rather the elbows loose so that when you start the drive, you're really connecting right back here to the lat muscle. Very powerful muscle group we want to try and integrate into the stroke. The third reason I like it is that I want you to be able to feel, if you start from here and you start from the drive with the blade already in the water, you can feel that immediate connection with the blade to the water. And then when we take the next stroke, we roll up into the next stroke, I'm looking to be able to feel that same immediate connection. You're not wanting to have a jarring sensation, jerky sensation, but rather that smooth connection to the blade as the blade takes hold of the water right there before you start the drive. So for lots of reasons, I really like people getting the habit, being able to sit comfortably at the catch, blades squared and buried, find the balance, find the grip, relax the elbows, nice horizontal, smooth drive. So that's one of my favorites, and again, not so much a drill, but a habit. Another one I like a lot is again, seems very simple, but what I'm looking for is just one arm, one oar rowing. So whenever you're turning in circles, whenever you get to the end of the river, lake, whatever body of water, and you want to turn around, you're rowing with one oar. Use that as a drill to think about the blade coming out of the water, the blade going in the water. It's a very easy way to just break the stroke up and be able to think about one part without having to think about the other oar. So I just kind of tuck one elbow into my hip, lean a little bit into that oar, I can row with the other oar. I can watch the blade extracting smoothly from the water, I can watch the blade going back into the catch. So simple little drill, you can do it pretty much any time you turn the boat, but don't just willy-nilly turn the boat, not think about it, but more focus on that one oar. The third drill, and again, I don't find myself doing this drill a lot, but I try and incorporate it into every stroke that I take, and it's basically a finish to catch drill. The drill is just sitting here at the finish, I roll up, and I catch. The purpose of the drill is that I'm thinking about all of this, the release of the blade, my movement up the slide, the blade going back in, all of that is part of the recovery, meaning all of that wants to be relaxed and loose. And I can't do this drill obviously very well if I'm not comfortable initially starting here, which is where we started this video. So the finish to catch drill, I want to think about being as relaxed as I can, extracting the blade from the water, being as relaxed as I can coming up into the catch, being as relaxed as I can putting the blade back in. And that's kind of part one of the drill. Part two of the drill, I start off the same way, finish to catch, but now I have a definitive pause, then I take the stroke. And what am I looking to accomplish there is now I'm looking to have a definitive moment between the catch and the drive. I'm trying to think about the catch being one part of the stroke, the drive being the second part. If I go to the third part of this drill, I start out again the same way, stationary position, finish to catch, everything nice and loose and relaxed, nice pause. Then I take a stroke. Now the boat's moving, so I'm not going to be able to stop. And I let the blade float for a second, then I push. And so this way, again, I'm still thinking about catching, not trying to think about putting the power on right away, but rather can I put the blade in and then think about the drive. And while it's not a drill, I do that often from a stationary position as the one I'm sitting in here, but rather whenever I row, I try and make every stroke a catch, then a drive. Every stroke I think catch, then I think drive. So that the power of the drive doesn't go into the relaxation of the recovery. Trying to make the stroke as efficient as we can. That means I want to be light, loose, and relaxed whenever I can be. Save the power for the drive. Good luck.